Okay, all right. Let's go. How are we doing on this cold, surprising Friday morning? We've got actual hockey news. We have actual real hockey news. Scientists got us for us. Oilers trade Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, a 29-second to the Penguins for Jari and Paulin. Very, I'm not so sure. I've never been a huge Tristan Jari fan. He's played well so far this year. No doubt. His numbers are good. His career numbers 274 and 909. And Stuart Skinner's career numbers 274 and 904. What are the odds of that? What are the odds that they both have the exact same goals against average? And I know that that's not everything, but their numbers over the course of the season, over the course of their careers, Jari's got a little bit more experience, but the average is what the average is. I wonder what you guys think of all of that. And it's not like Jari's got Jari's playoff record. He's got a 3 goals against the 891. He played 1 game in 1920. He played 6 games in 2021. Didn't do all that well. And then he played 1 game in 21-22 for the Pens. Wait. Yeah, they've already got Jari on the Edmonton Oilers page. That was quick. Curious what you guys think about that. I'm not so sure. And the fact that the Oilers gave up the extra pick there, very curious to see what you guys think. Mike says, just a scratch. Could have sworn there was supposed to be a 4th period last night. Oh, boy. Brandon Bussi now holds the record for the fastest 10 career wins in NHL history. Ain't that something? Hey, Simon, how we doing, bud? Jameson, well, at least the Canucks lost in regulation, so it wasn't all bad with Team Tank. All right, let's see. Hungry says, I can't believe the meme became reality. The Oilers traded for Jari. And what's really curious about it is, the Penguins, aren't they still in the playoff spot? 35. The Penguins are in a playoff spot. They're currently the 8th seed. They're tied with Montreal, but they got a game in hand. I guess they've just quit on the season. And I'm not saying Skinner would make them quit. Honestly, I wonder if Pittsburgh is considering that an upgrade. It's almost like the same guy, really. Skinner played last night and won. He played for Edmonton last night, right? Because Penguins have lost 3 straight. Wait till the Oilers realize it wasn't Skinner's fault. I can't disagree there. Hungry says, I might piss my pants from laughing. That's what I'm thinking. Capitalism. I think YouTube's back to the usernames. Yeah, that happened a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Shines, I'll admit I went to bed after 2 last night. Too late of a game. You didn't miss much. Hey, Chopper. Nothing. I don't. So with all due respect to everybody with the trades, Chopper's asking me, what do I think of this mock trade? Stamkos 50% and Blankenburg for Ekblad, Samoskevich in the 26th second. Here's my answer for any and all trades. No. The only trade I would be remotely interested in is if Barkov is going to be out for the season and not come back for the playoffs, if we wanted to upgrade at 3C or on the 4C department, if Nosek wasn't going to be available, or if we wanted to upgrade over Petrie. I have no interest in an old man like Stamkos who's got term on his contract. Nobody with term. That's a complete non-starter in my opinion, because until we know what Bobrovsky's number is going to be in the extension, you can't go taking on guys. And Stamkos doesn't change the situation with this team. If Barkov is out, we're not winning a cup because we get Stamkos. And we would have to be absolutely stupid to trade Mackie Samoskevich at this point. We've drafted him. We've developed him. People need to have a grain of patience with the kid, okay? He's still barely in his second season. He showed last year when put with good players, he can play well. He's playing the game well. He had a rough night last night, no doubt. But he did end up with the goal. But just no to the trades, just all the way around. I don't care what magical unicorn rainbow trade somebody comes up with on Leafs Discord or Leafs Reddit or any of that. Just know we just won 2 cups and we still have all of the guys. They're just not playing because they're injured. I don't want anything to do with Stamkos. Riley would be if Barkov's not coming back. But people aren't thinking about next year. They're making up all these things on Discords about going out and getting Stamkos, and people think the deal was already done and Zito turned it down. Use your head. The Stamkos has got term. Okay, you're not going to see anything at all happen until A, Bobrovsky gets an extension, and B, if we hear Barkov's not coming back for the playoffs. We already don't have the money for the players we have if Barkov comes back for the playoffs. So no, and no. No. We just no. I love you guys, but stop going to Discord, especially, please, for the love of God. I love you all. Will you please stop going to Leafs Discord and thinking the news about the Panthers is real? I say that as your dad, as your grandpa. What the hell is wrong with you? It's Leafs Discord. Stop. Or Reddit. Stop it. Stop. They make shit up in their sleep and then they put it on the internet and people take it as real. You should know this by now. You've been taught way better than that here on this channel. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. I'm in a mood. I don't like losing. Hungry says the Oilers gave up a mid goalie, a mid defenseman, and a second for nobody and a mid goalie. The more I think about it, you're not wrong, Hungry. Brandon Bussi also holds the world record for the world's most messed up last name. Hughes going to New Jersey. That could possibly happen. Hey, Kyle. Hey, wait a minute. Come here. Just stand in the doorway. Yeah. Oh, you ready? Mm-hmm. The Oilers trade Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second to Pittsburgh for Tristan Jarry and Samuel Paulin. That's real. Say that again. Open the door. Nobody can see you. The Oilers have traded Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a 29 second to Pittsburgh for Tristan Jarry and Samuel Paulin.
They traded for Tristan Jarry.
You want to know the best part?
What?
When I looked them up, both goalies to the exact have the same exact goals against for their career, 2.74. It's like they traded one for the other.
And they gave the Penguins Brett Kulak.
Yeah, and a second. And a second. So, all right, go ahead and wake up.
Oilers are clearly desperate.
There you go. That's the official position of the channel. The Oilers are clearly desperate. All right. Let me scroll back down to where I was. Vincent says, we still have a GM, right? We have a GM. Zito, do something. Zito, you don't need to do nothing. We're fine. Yeah, they essentially traded Skinner for the other Skinner. Oh, yeah, we'll get there, Simon. We'll get there. Sure. Yeah, if Barkov wasn't come back, they'd have already done it. Exactly. Craig is exactly right. Exactly. Thomas says the Stars might be better than Colorado. Give me 1 point. Give me 1 point out of that game, please. Playing at Colorado on the second of a night, second back-to-back, is just, it was brutal. Hungry says Stamkos would only be worth it if we could get him for league minimum after he's released and only for psychological damage to Tampa. I mean, yeah, Stamkos for $1 million, maybe $2 million in place of Nosek. Oh, okay. But even if they were going to eat half the money, which they're not, it would completely blow up what we have going cap wise. And what is he, 50 years old already? We already got our guys in terms of the old guys. Stamkos is 35, and so he'd be here till 36, 37. It's the $8 million. Like if his cap hit was 4 and we were going to get him for $2 million and put him at 4C, okay. All right, you know what I mean? Because you're not hurting any other areas of your teams. But the idea to give up anything of value for him at this point, it's just silliness. Vincent says we got to get a young winger, and we have 3 players to trade. We're fine. We're fine. We have players. People are forgetting that we just won 2 cups. I don't understand. Vincent says we need to purchase a first-round pick this year to trade. Trade Barkov for 403 Beats says trade Barkov for Darnell Nurse. Vincent, I'm not your grandpa. I'm probably old enough to be your grandpa. I'm not going to be a grandpa with my kids, so I may as well be somebody's grandpa. Greg says, plus the Preds are playing good hockey now. Stamkos ain't going anywhere. Ekblad in a second to Flying Fluffy for Kyle. Does Kyle have term? Yeah, Kyle has a no-move clause. Trust me. Kyle has an uneditable no-move clause. Dietrich. Oh, I appreciate you, man. I mean, I get it. But when healthy, Barkov for Hagee, Reinhart, Bennett, Kachuk, Samoskevich, or Rodriguez, depending on the cat, Lundell, Lusterine, and Marchand, Nosek, Gadzovich, Greer. Like, what do we need? Am I not? Chopper says, say that I'm not interested in Crosby for free. Hold on a second. Just remind me of his contract. Well, am I interested in Crosby for free? Yeah. If you're talking about them giving him to us for nothing and we just had to take his contract, I mean, we would still have to trade guys. The only way, here's how I'll take Crosby for free. Chopper, here's how I'll do it. You go to Bobrovsky and you tell him, hey, we can get Sidney Crosby to be our 3 or 4C, but you got to sign an extension that's good for 3 years at $1 million a year. And if Bob plays for $1 million a year for the last 3 years, then we can go get Crosby and get Stamkos and throw in Ovechkin and Wilson at the same time. But for me, until we know Bobrovsky's number and how much term he's going to have, I don't want to think about any trades because people are forgetting Barkov's going to be back next year. So, if you go get a Riley, you go get a Stamkos, you go get a Crosby, these guys all have term, right? So Barkov, Crosby, Bennett, Lundell at 4C. Are you putting Crosby on the wing? Are you putting, Riley on the wing? You talk about next year, you're going to start trading guys away to, you know what I mean? I think I really feel like less is more with this team right now. Hungry, is that true, Vetman? Yeah, goals against isn't always the full story on how good a goalie is. No, I know, Mike. I know. I mean, that's the number I just immediately look. I just thought it was interesting that they were both exactly the same. But I mean, based on what I've seen of those two goalies, if I got one game where I need to win a game in the playoffs, I'd probably go with Skinner over Jarry. I mean, Skinner gave up 2 goals in a game 7 of a Stanley Cup final. Like, he might be inconsistent, but any dude that gave up 2 goals in a game 7 in a Stanley Cup final can handle the pressure. Maybe Pittsburgh will be good for him. It wouldn't shock me at all to see the Penguins get the better of this deal, to be honest with you. Mick says, I'm sure broadcasting last night's game nationally was premeditated by the league. They knew NHL fans would get a kick out of seeing the Panthers get obliterated after a back-to-back. Yeah. I mean, you could kind of see it. We almost squeaked out that tie in the first period. But boy, you could just see it. Is what it is, right? Frozen thinks that the Penguins won the Oilers trade. I wouldn't argue against that. I've never been a huge Jarry fan. I didn't understand the contract when Dubas gave it to him. Certainly, I think Skinner now could actually be in a little bit more of a relaxed position and play better. It's very possible. Simon, it's all good. Hungy says we need both Bob's and Samoskiewicz's number. That's true. Vincent says Crosby can be traded during the summer to the Avs. I mean, I have thought about that. That's you're not wrong there. Now look, if they tell Zito a month before the trade deadline that Barkov's not coming back for the playoffs, then situation changes. But you would again, Vincent, in a situation like with Crosby, you would have to tell him up front. It's like, hey, we're getting you. Do you want to come here? So we're going to get you for this year, but then we're going to trade you after the summer, during the summer. Like, you'd have to be up front with him, because I would assume he's got a no trade, no move. Yeah, he's got no move clause. So you would have to clear it with him first. And that's tough. You know what I mean? Like, so he would be coming here with a handshake agreement that he's going to waive his no move clause in the summer. Oh, Bowman. Okay, Hungry. Yeah, I got you. Scientist says, be careful. We don't want to turn into the Clippers of the NHL, a team full of aging Hall of Fame players at the bottom of the standings. I don't think we're anywhere near that point. It's not like they suddenly just started sucking. We're missing 6 guys, and in the most important key parts. Now, if we had gone a couple of years healthy and were, losing in the first round, then we have that discussion. But these guys deserve to have a year where they're healthy and ready to go and be given an opportunity to continue winning cups. That's just my opinion. Wingdinger says he thinks the Oilers need defensive help. It's an interesting move they made for sure. So, I think we're just going to keep treading water. Where are we now? Let's look at the standings after last night real quick. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. Lightning are at 38. We're at 32. So we're still right there. We're still 3 points out of the playoff spot. You can't complain about that considering the guys we've got out. We still got to look at third place. Damn, the Bruins have won 4 in a row again. When are they going to fall off? Damn it, probably after they trade us Pasta. Jameson says Skinner and Shelos as a tandem in net. Couldn't even imagine that 15 months ago. Right? Kenneth says, no one should feel bad losing to the Avs at this point. You take the regular season loss and move on. Yep. Vincent says, has Barkov run a marathon yet? He's lurking around with a Mona Lisa smile. Yeah. Mixed. Oh, I see what you're saying, scientist. You mean by people talking about training for Stamkos and Crosby? Yeah, we're good. I mean, I don't see Zito doing anything like that. If their contracts were different, I mean, if Barkov wasn't coming back, would I take Stamkos for 1 year at $2 million? Sure, why not? But I wouldn't want to give up anybody on the roster for him. Really don't want to. I mean, if you want to give up one of our prospects who's probably not going to have a chance to play, maybe. But I'm going to have a video out soon because people got to have some patience with Samoskevich. I don't know when this fan base became so impatient with the young players, but he's playing good hockey. Last night excluded, even if he did get the goal. The whole third line had a rough go of it last night, but he's supposed to be out there with Bennett and Tkachuk. You know what I mean? It's the role that they're asking that third line to play with Rodriguez, Samoskevich, and Greer. It doesn't suit many of them, really. They've got a lot of energy, but when you go up against a team like the Avs last night, it's a big mismatch. Greg says Cats are fine and have a decent future with the younger AHL guys coming up. Absolutely agree. Despite our win streak, losing yesterday while everyone in the East won in Toronto got a point sucks. I mean, yes, but like I said, we're still, the wild card is 35 points. We're still at 32 points. So, just stay within, everything else even, Lax. If they would have said we'd be 3 points out of a playoff spot without Barkov and without Tkachuk, and then when Tkachuk came back, I think we probably would have said, okay, we can do that. Lil J says, what's my take on the Skinner trade? Why Jerry is my opinion, or why Jari? Yeah. Why Skinner? If you want to know the bigger thing is like Picard has been horrible. Picard has been bad. So like, to me, they're trading. Honestly, I think the guy that's going to win this trade deal is Skinner. I think being out of Edmonton and having the pressure taken off of him and being on a Penguins team that's just kind of like, hey, if we win, it's cool. If not, we did. I think Skinner's going to be the one that wins in that deal. And Jari has not proven that he can handle. He just immediately goes into the freaking flamethrower, how would you like to be Jari right now? You just immediately like, okay, good. Now we got, you're the guy that's responsible now if McDavid gets a cup and leaves or stays. Like, I think Skinner's going to probably start playing a lot better. Yeah. Lil J says they rode them both too long and then ran them out of town. They could have got a better goalie for Skinner 2 years ago. Agreed. Yeah, Sordiff. Mixed. Sordiff was ready, which is why we got that pick for him. We saw that last year. He was ready to contribute. It's just where were you going to put him? You know, I would assume that had we not signed Marchand, it would have been Lundell, Luostarinen, and Sordiff. I think that's the way things probably would have laid out. But Marchand was so good. I don't know if we win that cup last year without him. And so it's, you know, it's one of those things where you lose a prospect, but he was clearly ready to play. Dietrich says Stamkos could take the Okposo or Marchand trade deal. Well, no, that's the thing. He's already got his contract. I mean, $8 million. Yeah. It's just too much, even at half price. If he had gotten $4 million and we could get him for $2 million, now that's a viable player that you can keep on your roster and move around and, you know, put him at 3C, even maybe 4C. But even if they were going to eat half of that contract, which I don't even want to know what we'd have to give up for it, it's just not worth it. And then, you know, you still got next year. I think my assumption is going to be that they're going to continue to give Schwindt an opportunity maybe at 4C next year if Nosek doesn't come back. And that would be the one area I would be a little bit concerned about, would be having a veteran 4C. So I understand people might look at Stamkos and think, well, he's this old Asian veteran that could play good 4C. And I'm not saying he wouldn't, but it just causes so many cap problems for us. And don't forget, well, I mean, that you would only have him if Barkov was not coming back. Because if Barkov comes back, we don't even have money for Rodriguez to be on the ice. So even if you moved Rodriguez for Stamkos, you would still have the same problem. You know, you would still have a big financial problem this year. Vincent says the Avs got this Panthers President's Trophy heir to them, a machine, but we all know. Yes, sir, Vincent. Yes, sir. Vincent says, what if Kyle Dubas gonna force Skinner to shave off the stash? Oh, wonder. Is that why? Is there a facial hair policy in Pittsburgh? Kenneth says, in a pool where you pick 30 games a month, last night was the first time I picked against the Panthers in 4 years. No joke. No joke. What? Oh. Okay. Oh, okay there, Twitch. That's what? Now that's funny. Absolute says exactly. We wouldn't have gotten the cup without Marchand and Jones. So, Bill, that's when Cooper Black and Mackey trade for Brady Tkachuk coming. No. Yeah, Craig says Nosek may retire after this season, I guess, especially with the injury issues stacking up. So Schwindt might be a good option for the 26-27 season. Yeah, I think they're going to want to give him as much of an opportunity as they can. You know, we can always start the season with a guy like Schwindt next year. And then if you end up needing to fix 4C, you know, at the trade deadline, that's when you take care of it. And yeah, Schwindt was solid. I mean, he wasn't spectacular, but geez, JC, that sucks. The snot-nosed Grillman's got my wife sick, and now I'm sick. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I was always sick around Christmas. Back when I was a kid, I would get sick. There was like at least 2 or 3 years where I missed the whole last week of school before Christmas break started, and then I'd still be sick the first week of Christmas break. Sucks because you got everybody traveling around, and everybody gets everything. That's why it shouldn't be weather related though down there. At least you guys are in the warm weather. We're 37 and cloudy today. Oy. We're like 10, 15 degrees below what should be our normal around here. So looking, the Oilers won last night. They're in a playoff spot, right? Yep. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, I know stats are only go so far. I understand stats, but Jari has had 8 playoff games in 3 years. The 1 year he played a full series. That was against, let me see. Oh, we don't have game logs for the playoffs. Stupid. So who did they play in 2021? Was that maybe Washington? So his numbers weren't great. That's what I don't understand is like Skinner, his playoff numbers. Skinner's, it's not great. It's not great. His playoff numbers are, he's played a lot of games, but it's a 2.88 and an 8.93. But Jari's is not much different. Jari's numbers are 3 goals against and an 8.91. So the point there is that I don't know that Jari has. What has Jari proven that Skinner hasn't? Scientist, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything on Greer. That's a good point. I was hoping we'd hear something, but I haven't heard anything. Hopefully he's okay, because I guess we would have to call Devine back up. And then maybe I guess put Cutted on that third line. Like, it's getting thin. It really is. Hey, Buck Skulls. I saw that game last night, saw the end of that game last night. I don't know how you guys pulled that off, but you did. Scientist says the East is just racking up points, whether it's wins or overtime. We can't afford to lose in regulation anymore. Well, we do have a little bit of a bump there, in the sense that I think we have just about the most regulation wins. Certainly of any of the wild card competitive teams. We're going to get that third spot. The Wings are not going to be able to hold on. The Bruins aren't going to perfectly hold on. I still think it's going to be Lightning, Panthers, and then maybe Canadians or Leafs. Maybe the Bruins. But it's maybe everybody at this point. Even the Sabres have won a couple of games again. Miami says, what do you think about McDavid? Is mad about? That's a good question. Like, is that the guy, McDavid signed for $12.5 million for? But we've known there hasn't been a lot of, we've talked about it, the free agent goalies, there hasn't been a lot. How much time does Jari have left on his deal? Let me see. Jari is in year 3 of year 5. So they do take on a little bit of extra cap there. I just can't believe what Edmonton gave up. And I don't understand what made them give up so much to get Jari in comparison. It just seems a little bit lopsided. Vincent says, I demand Vilmanis. It could happen, but I guess that'll tell us what we know about Greer, what we need to know about Greer. Don't we have any extra forwards already up, though? I think we've already got somebody up, right? No, Devine went back down. So maybe they call him up. Trying to see if there's anybody that we've got. No, we don't have any extra forwards right now. So they would have to call up Devine or Vilmanis. Like to see that. I agree with you, Vincent. Why not give him a shot? Devine didn't look anything special. I wonder if they would put Gregor in that spot. next to Rodriguez and Samoskevich. Maybe they put Gregor there. In fact, after last night, I wouldn't mind seeing Gregor there instead of Cunnin. Mike says maybe that trade wasn't about the goalies. I mean, what are you getting at? What do you mean? Kenneth says, don't give the Sabres hopes. They've been through enough. Come on, look, Buffalo. Hey, Buffalo is only 5 points out of a playoff spot. Come on, Sabres, you can do it. I'm not lying, though. They are in last place in the conference, and they are 5 points out of the wild card spot. And the wild cards are 3 and 5 points out of first place. Like, just win a couple of games here or there, and you've got the President's Trophy in the Eastern Conference. Vincent says it's money in, money out. What was Kulak's contract? Oh, yeah, I see. Kulak's got a 275 cap hit. So Skinner and Kulak equal, basically. I see. Huh. And so he'll be in Pittsburgh. So I wonder, and that's the guy that they trade away, right? Although he's been, that's interesting. Is Kulak been playing in their second pair? Because his time on ice is 17:42, 20 minutes a night sometimes. Real says, I'm going to be honest, if we can't repeat this year, I would love to see the Penguins win the Cup with Skinner. Oh, I'll agree with you 100% there, Real. If 1,000% in agreement there. Although, we would probably start off. I don't know what Kyle and I would do if we didn't make the playoffs. I'd have to think. I mean, I know we would be streaming games, but we would probably do that shtick where I pick a team and he picks a team for each round. I think that would probably be better. Yeah, Pittsburgh didn't retain any salary. Simon, in terms of the weekend, Panthers are tomorrow. We got the 2 games on Monday. I'm fairly certain Kyle and I will be doing a football game on Sunday. What's the schedule? Real quick here. Since Simon is asking, it wouldn't surprise me. I bet you Kyle will want to do Bills Patriots Sunday at 1:00. That seems like that would be the game to do. Unless he'd rather do, there's Lions, Rams, Packers, Broncos. So I don't know that he'd want to do Vikings, Cowboys, but there's a few good games. I'm sure we'll do at least a game on Sunday. Oh, Seattle versus, when is that game? When is the Seattle game? Oh, that's 4:30. If Rivers plays, Kyle would probably want to do that one. Yeah, maybe we'd pop on for the second half of Bills Patriots. If Rivers is going to play, I think Kyle will want to do that one because that's going to be something to see. Eduardo says, wow, Panther fans really hate those Oilers. I think for me, it's not necessarily about hating the Oilers for the take about Skinner. For me, I feel like Skinner went unappreciated. I've said it a million times. The dude gave up 2 goals in a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. I kind of feel like he got, a raw deal there in turn. Yeah, he's not great. He's not perfect, but now it'll be Jari taking the the blame if McDavid doesn't get a cup. So I just kind of feel like Skinner just, scapegoated. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any hate towards the team itself, but kind of the same way I ended up feeling about Vegas when they did what they did with Fleury. You know what I mean? So it's like that. Hungry right now. The word on the UM game is I think we're going to do it. I would suspect right now the plan is that we're going to do it. So Kyle hasn't acted like he doesn't want to do it. So I think we will. We should have a very cool thing going by then with being able to do like trivia and stuff during the intermissions. So it might actually be a good game to start with now that I'm thinking about it. If you guys have ever watched Dangle's streams and he goes through Sparks and does trivia and bracket challenges and all of that, they reached out to us. And so we've been meeting with them. So we're going to be setting up here real soon to be doing that stuff. So like during the intermissions, Kyle can run trivia. I can do trivia here on the noon streams, the members pregame streams. We can have bracket challenges. There's a few other things we're going to be able to do. So looking forward to that. Yeah, and Real's got a good point. I don't hate them, but I just need a good laugh if we don't three-peat. Yeah. I mean, you got to admit, of course, Oilers fans wouldn't say that, but it would kind of be funny if Skinner was to beat the Oilers. You know what I mean? In the Cup final there. Can you imagine? I mean, everybody, unfortunately, other than Edmonton fans, I would suspect would be rooting for Crosby to get one more. Right? Mike says, sounds to me more like the Edmonton-Pittsburgh trade was more about Pittsburgh getting help for its blue line. Interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way, Mike, but you might not be wrong. You might not be wrong there. I mean, it's a good point because it is kind of the same. I mean, Jari, Skinner, Jari, like very, very similar in that they show flashes of really how good they can be, but they're inconsistent. Vincent says, tell us about the money, trivia, or whatever. It's free. So the way it works, Vincent, is they're going to end up eventually getting sponsors. So maybe there'll be like ads during it or something like that. And then later on down the road, there might be a thing where, because they're developing a bunch of different games. So at some point, there might be a situation where it becomes like if you're an in-depth player and it's like a video game and you want to, pay for certain things. But my understanding is that it's always going to be, free to play. And this doesn't cost anybody anything, doesn't cost me anything either. So, I figured, they, like I said, they work with Dangle and they reached out to me. So I figured, okay, we'll give this a shot. Oh, Dumba's on waivers? That's interesting. Huh. Andy says Oilers won't be in the finals. Avalanche. I mean, it's I don't want to sit here and say the Avalanche are the team to beat based on last night. They clearly have a good team, right? Now, Wedgwood and Blackwood, they don't have. I mean, they've got enough experience between the two of them, but you just never know how these things are going to go. Every year, there's that one team, right, that just blows the doors off most of the regular season, and then they almost always are a team that falls apart at some point in the playoffs. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Avs in, but I can't completely discount Edmonton. They made it to 2 straight cups. They do know how to get there. So, Simon, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if we were going to do it. It could be possibly tonight, but we'll see. Donna likes to do the stuff spur of the moment, so you never know when we're going to do it. Hungry says I'm rooting for Dallas if we're not getting it. That's fair. Kenneth says right now Wild is 1 point out of third overall. You can have a 2-3 matchup being Stars and Wild. I just give me one of the Sharks or Blackhawks to make the playoffs. That's something I'm hoping for. So I saw another comment that I missed. Yeah, exactly, scientists. The 23 Bruins, right? Well, remember when we beat the Rangers, they were the President's Trophy team, right? So we beat the President's Trophy Panthers. We beat ourselves. Then we beat the Bruins, President's Trophy. And then we beat the Rangers. We didn't get a chance to eliminate the President's Trophy team last year, though. But every time we play a President's Trophy team, including ourselves, we eliminate them. Mike says, I just don't want to see Dallas win because their GM has beaten out Zito the last 3 years in a row. Ain't that the truth? You know, this year, he could do nothing. Zito could do nothing. Barkov comes back. We three-peat. And they'll be like, well, we can't give him GM of the year because he didn't make any moves. You know? Which I get the understanding people thinking about that stuff. It's just, I want to see our team that just won 2 cups. I want to see them healthy, you know? So I'm more interested in finding a way to keep everybody together for next year. Because, you know, we talked about maybe having Schwint at 4C, but don't forget, we would still have Rodriguez, you know what I mean? He's still got 1 more year of term. And so the assumption there for me is going to be if we, you know, when we re-sign Sam Miskevich, I'm not saying if, I'm saying when. Sam Miskevich is last night set aside. I've seen some people saying, and you guys know I'm going to stick up for the kid, but I try to be as honest as I can. He didn't have a good night last night. He hasn't been scoring at the pace I know that some people would like to see him score at, myself included. But when you watch him away from the puck, if the mistakes that are happening are not out of he knows where to go. He's got good hockey IQ. He's probably attempting to play a little bit more physical than his size and frame are going to allow him. But that's why, in my opinion, he did good with Bennett and Tkachuk, because let them do the physical stuff and Samo can feed off of them. I really feel like we got to have patience and get to that point again. Vincent says you're cheating there, Jaws, if it's if, not when for now. Which, are you talking about what? Talking about getting rid of Sam Miskevich? Or are we talking about Barkov coming back? You can't expect him to remember what I said 2 minutes ago. Scientists said everyone had an off night last night. Yeah. When you see the face-off 70-30, everybody had an off night. So we'll be okay. It was a shame we couldn't pull a point out of that, but it's not the end of the world. When you looked at that game, even healthy, you look at that game on the schedule, and you just kind of, maybe we can get a point. You know, so what do we got coming up here? I'm still content with how the team is playing. You know, give me a point against Dallas and then beat the Lightning. And then you've got 5 of the 8 points that I wanted. And then before Christmas, we've got the Kings, Hurricanes, Blues at home. And then we go on the road to Carolina. I wonder if Boosie will still be playing, I guess, at that point. They've got a little bit of lightning in a bottle there with that guy, but that's another video I'd like to look at, is like why he didn't get an opportunity anywhere else. Vincent says, we all like Mackey, but if there's a better alternative, I think Zito will pounce. I don't know. I'm trying to think about it from a neutral POV and take the part where I don't want it to happen away. I just don't know. I really just don't know. I feel like Zito recognizes the importance of having these young guys to come up and replace the veterans. You know what I mean? And he has to start, and not that he hasn't been, but he's got to realize that, and this actually might work against Mackey in some sense, that the window's open mostly as long as Bobrovsky is here, unless we can upgrade at some point when he leaves or retires. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know, because even if you were going to trade Samoskevich, even if you were going to do that, you still got Rodriguez in that spot if the team is healthy. So I don't know. I've got an idea for a video on that. So I've got like 3 or 4 ideas for videos I want to do on some of these subjects, because I understand, but I really feel like we need to be patient with Samoskevich. And I think we would significantly regret, unless Barkov was back for the playoffs and we traded for another guy like Marchand, who were like, oh my God, we won another cup because of this dude, I think we'd seriously regret it. Vincent says, oh no, I'm for the trade only if it's a 25-year-old guy, not older. Okay, I see what you're saying. Right. Real says, I know I choke a lot, but I don't want Mackey gone. He'll be fine. He's just being asked to carry more than he's ready for right now. He was never meant to be a Celebrini or a Bedard, right? And Mike says, Jaws living in absolute denial about Samo. And I will continue. Don't forget, Mike. Don't forget, the reason the video came out where I predicted the Tkachuk trade was not because I was talking about the Tkachuk trade. It's because I got pissed off because everybody kept saying, we got to trade Lundell. We got to trade Lundell. That's what that video was about. So I'm just saying, it wasn't that long ago where everything that people are saying about Samoskevich right now, they all wanted to trade Anton Lundell too. So I think that's where some of it comes from for me. Yeah, but Real says, when are we trading Mackey for Skinner? Andy says, Sammy's still learning. He can really skate. Give him some time to develop. Yeah, I agree. I missed one here. Vincent. That's okay, Vincent. Scientist says, Rope Hinson is injured and might not play tomorrow. Well, that don't hurt. That don't hurt. I mean, the Stars are right there with the Avs. The Avs have been kicking ass. And what's Dallas? 4 points out. I mean, whoop-de-doos, right? Those two. The good news for them is they most likely won't have to play each other in the first round. What I would like to see, how about this? How about Chicago gets that wild card and Spencer Knight shocks the world and they beat the Avalanche? And that would still be a Panther eliminating a President's Trophy team. Huh? You see? I don't want to move Tippett 2.0. Don't leave out Lawson Krause, Kenneth. Lawson Krause in our fourth line would be pretty nice right now. Oh, geez, here we go. Tippett. Tippett. Oh. Jeez. Between Tippett and Krause, man, we got 2 cups. So I'm saved by that. I'm saved by that. You know what I mean? The Krause one really surprised me, though. That I didn't even know he was doing so well because he's just buried there in Utah where nobody talks about him. Scientist says at least the next time we play the Avs, it'll be their turn to be on the second half of a back-to-back. Their first is against Carolina. Well, that's good news. That's good news. I mean, it was always going to be, and there's certain teams we just don't do great, in the regular season against. We held our own in the first period. I think the ESPN announcers actually made a good point, which is that late goal in the first period kind of took the wind out of us. You could kind of see it at the end of the period when Marchand was skating away. His body language looked like we had already lost the game. He was like, and was I the only one? Maybe I was, but I thought Tarasov got a little bit interfered with on that second goal. Not that it would have mattered. Real says Spencer Knight, Justin Sordiff, Spencer Knight, Justin Sordiff. Oh, we got 2 cups, 1 cup, 2 cups. Anything you guys can throw at me now, I have a comeback for. 1 cup, 2 cups. That's the only thing between Dangle and I. That's the only reason why in year 19 of this channel I won't be crazy like Dangle. And his beard, he's going white way earlier than I did. Because he's like, what's he, 38? How old is Steve Dangle? How old is he? Let's see. Just put in age to me. He's 37. And he's already got white in his beard. I was 44 when I started this channel, and it was black. Jake says it's all for his stream. Yeah. Well, being a Leaf fan, I mean, that would probably do it, But I'd ended up crazy, not that I'm not crazy, but you know what I mean. How many years can you do it and not get past the second round? Jeez. Yeah. I have empathy for the dude. It is what it is. So we'll be okay. So we got what do we got? What's the games tonight before I get ready to close up here in a little bit? Tonight's just 2 games. Good job, NHL. What do we have? 14, 15 games last night, 13 games last night, and 2 tonight. Blues, Blackhawks, Kraken, Mammoth. So it's Friday night, and there's not even one 7 o'clock game. And there's no Eastern Conference games. And it's a Friday night. Okay, then. Then tomorrow we got a long schedule. The Preds playing the Avs again tomorrow. Interesting. Tomorrow, Ducks, Devils, Senators, Wild, Sharks, Penguins. I assume Skinner will play in that one. Lightning, Islanders, Capitals, Jets, Canadians, Rangers, Hurricanes, Flyers, Knights, Jackets, Oilers, and Maple Leafs. So I find it interesting that if Jari and Skinner play, they will play against teams that they're a little bit familiar with and from their previous conferences. And then we got the Stars, and then Wings, Blackhawks, Preds, Avalanche, and Flames, Kings. How the Flame? We haven't checked in on Calgary. We haven't checked in on Hubie Doobie Doo in a couple of weeks. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. So the only teams, there's a lot of teams left in the West that don't have 30 points. Jets, Blues, Preds, Flames, Canucks. So there's 5 teams in the West that don't have 30 points and nobody in the East. The East is just stupid. The top seed in the East is 40. The bottom seed in the East is 30. That's crazy. Yeah, 2 games on a Friday, right? Yeah. Jake says, last time the Panthers eliminated them, I was hoping to catch a great clip, but I think you knew ahead that they were cooked. Yeah. Yeah, his meltdown was whichever game it was where Boquist got that goal after the spinorama by Marner. Was that game 5, I think? That's when he let loose. That's when Dangle just absolutely went loose. I think by the end, because I watched that too, Jake, kind of wanted to see what his reaction was, and he looked he had accepted like exactly what you're saying. He had accepted their fate, I think. Kenneth, you had no hair for a long time. Hey, Bill, how you doing, bud? Oh, farm team's doing good, Simon. They're doing pretty good for having guys coming and going, that's for sure. Bill, yeah, they had no chance last night. No disagreement. No disagreement. Hey, David. We'll be okay. It was nice to see San Jose come back and yank a point from the Leafs, right? And San Jose, they I got to get with Nick, maybe do a video about the Sharks. They are let's see. Yeah. The Sharks are in the 8th seed right now. Wouldn't that be something else? Right now, the wild card teams are the Blackhawks. No, it's the Oilers, and then the Blackhawks and Sharks are tied for the 8th seed. It's been that way for a little while. Just give me one of those two teams. David, yeah, it's been a minute since we got a whooping like that. No doubt. No doubt, man. Mike hopes last night is the real wake-up call for the Cats. Well, we'll see how we show up against Dallas, right? I mean, you could kind of make excuses for last night, but with that, I would expect, to be honest with you, I would like to see or expect to see like a 2-1, 3-2 situation against Dallas. Maybe we get the sucker to overtime. I know that at least it appears to me that Maurice opened things up a little bit to allow them to start pinching more to generate a little bit more offense. And I understand. But at the same point, boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we don't, there's some guy, Petrie should not be pinching. No. Okay. Not that it's all his fault, but there's certain guys that Ekblad really shouldn't be pinching. Which, by the way, and Ekblad's played well this year. But did you guys see? I know you did, but the almost breakaway that Ekblad would have had, it was like his controller broke when he tried to actually take off and skate and do it the breakaway. It's like he looked like a drunk gazelle and ended up losing the puck. Poor dude. Like, I can't remember the last time Ekblad had a breakaway. I mean, it's been years and years, and he just kind of panicked and didn't know what to do. Hey, Patel says, "Oh my God, I was laughing hilariously for the past 5 minutes on the Skinner Jari trade. It's interesting to say the least, you know." Now, one thing that was brought up, I think it was Mike brought it up. So maybe for Pittsburgh, the trade was more about getting help on their blue line than it was for the goalies. But if Jari and Skinner play the way that they have and both stay exactly the same guys, Pittsburgh won the trade, in my opinion. Who was the other player that they gave up? Paulin? Is that who they gave up? Sam Paulin or Pauline? So he's just a prospect. He's played 15 games. He doesn't have any goals. So he's not, I'm not saying he's a nobody, but he's a prospect. Has he torn it up in the anywhere else, like in the AHL? He's got 19 goals in the AHL last year, 9 so far this year, 16 the year before, 16 the year before. He is a first round pick for the Penguins. So they gave up one of their prospects. So I guess it's possible that he could pan out for Edmonton. Bill says back-to-back against the best team where the Panthers come to play hockey, and he has wanted to show everybody they're the best team in the NHL. Yeah. Who's my favorite hockey YouTuber, Simon? When I see his stuff, it's probably Hockey Junkie. Not I don't count Nick from Twisted Wrister as a hockey. I count him as my friend. So that's a different thing. But Hockey Junkie. Unfortunately, the algorithm doesn't bring me his stuff all that often, but I like his stuff. Patel says, obviously, I'm favoring Pittsburgh won the trade. Right. Mick says, so Skinner and Kulak for a more expensive Skinner and a nobody. And a second. Like, they must really be high on this kid, Paulin. Like, that's the only thing that I can think of. Like, because if you went Skinner for Jari, but then you threw in Kulak to make the money even, like, what's the compensation for Kulak and the second? It's just this one prospect, which was your first round pick. Yeesh. That's a little dicey. He's no Bill Zito. He's no Bill Zito, that's for sure, right? Hey, Ricky. Yeah. I mean, it just seems like David says, and Avs a very skilled, very fast team. Good game. Now we move on. It's one game. We look tired, and that's okay as long as we come out and give great effort against the Stars. No worries. 100%. 100%. You're going to have nights like last night. You know what I mean? Especially with our limited roster. Like when we have our second nights of back-to-backs, like we gave a lot of effort against Utah. Let's not pretend, right? You know, we gave up the lead. We held it down the whole time and won right there in the end. And they were giving a lot of effort. So it's definitely no surprise that they came out last night. I mean, the Avs were all over us from the get-go. And I think Tarasov did what he could. You know, there was the one breakaway, but I mean, other than that, I'm trying to think if there was any bad goals. It was just a bad night all the way around. You would have liked to stop on the first goal, honestly. If there was going to be a bad goal, that first goal kind of squeaked by him. I think it was in between his arm and his side. But the worst thing about last night is what it did to Tarasov's poor numbers. Yeah, and elevation plays a factor too. Mick says it's definitely a scheduled loss. Paul Maurice was smart to start Bobby in Utah. And I think in the hindsight, we've seen there that why he wanted to play Bob in the first game. What did the Avs get? 42 shots? Like, you don't need to subject Bobrovsky to that. That's for sure. David says we had like a 5-minute stretch in the middle of the first where we kept up, but then we looked tired. Yep, no doubt. No doubt. Now, of course, if we got to play the Avs in the Stanley Cup final, you know, you better win in 6. You better win in 6. So, all right, everybody, I got to roll. I got to head to the grocery store. We're celebrating Donna's birthday today. Her real birthday is Monday. But we got Panthers on Monday. We got Dolphins on Monday. Kyle's going to his mom's tonight. So Donna and I are going to celebrate her birthday tonight. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to take the night off. I don't know if we're going to pop on the men's channel. She's running the show tonight, but I got to go to the store and get some goodies and stuff for her. So, because she's been, boy, the last 2 nights in a row has been nice. Because usually I do the cooking. That's by design. She can't cook. She's a good cook. She just doesn't know it. But the last 2 nights, I had the whole bacon, egg, and cheese and hash brown sandwiches the other night. And then last night was spaghetti with garlic toast before both games. Clunk. Last night was a 2-hour nap before the game. It was great. Do I think I'll ever do a stream with a Checkers game? Maybe. I hadn't thought about that, Simon. Maybe. So, all right, everybody. If I don't see you, enjoy your Friday night. I'm going to do a noon tomorrow. I'll be here Saturday, especially for those of you who can't get to the streams because you guys are working. So we'll do that tomorrow, and then tomorrow night against the Stars and all of that. So enjoy the rest of your day. If I don't see you, have a good weekend. And, we'll see you mañana night. That's English and Spanish together. Good job, Jaws. Good job.